My name is Dr. Robert Masone, and I sold my addiction practice to BrightView in 2021. I started the addiction practice about 2017, and the fun part was growing it and building it. And there were people that came to me in that early growing phase, but it wasn't quite right to sell. I was in the middle of a project, a baby, so to speak. It grew rather quickly. And by 2020, it was fully formed, and we were running, and we were looking at expanding. We went from one office that was up in Columbus to 4 offices in that short time, 2 to 3 year period. During that growth period, as I said, there were a few companies that came, and I wasn't even convinced some of them were serious. Some came because I met them at conferences, and others were just reaching out, and they weren't that serious, and so neither was I at the time. BrightView kind of came right at the peak of my practice, where it was mature, so their timing was right. Then the other side of the coin was I'd gotten active in politics with respect to addiction, an advisor to the Attorney General, the governor, the medical board, the pharmacy board, and so had Sean Ryan. And that's where we met. And so I knew him, and I knew we thought similarly. So when he reached out to me, I was anxious to discuss opportunities to collaborate with him, and they came at the right time. I've always been a very hardworking man. And when we started the due diligence, I worked with this BrightView team, and I would go home every day and say to my wife, they are incredibly smart, and they are incredibly hardworking. And I stand by that. From day one, a team came here, and they were consistent. That was another thing. Other places that came, they would send one person one time, and another person another time. Somebody from marketing, and then somebody from accounting. This was the same cohesive team that had very impressive credentials, and it became, in a way, it became like a new building project to do with these men, and I learned from them. So it was a long, arduous due diligence process. I had to produce documents. I had to produce 600 documents, not 600 pages, 600 documents. I didn't know my company had 600 documents, but they are excellent businessmen and very detailed and thorough. I now have peace of mind after the sale because I know it was done so thoroughly that there's no loose ends that could legally come back and cause a problem. So they were very, very thorough. Did they help me? Yes. They helped me straighten out a lot of things. They pointed out things that if the sale didn't go through, my company would have been that much better because of how they focused me business-wise. I didn't get a chance in my career to work with such highly qualified business people. Like, for instance, Brad Barker, undergrad mathematician from University of Michigan, and then MBA from Notre Dame, Dylan. Chemical engineering from University of Cincinnati, MBA from Harvard. I mean, you don't get to work with people of this substance very often, and I learned from all of them.
Are you happy with your decision to sell?
Very happy with my decision. I should mention that I wasn't looking to sell. I was still in building mode. I enjoyed my patients, my staff. We had a period of rapid growth where we grew from 2017 when we started, 1 provider, me, and 6 employees in 1 office, to 3 years later, we had 55 employees in 4 offices, and we were seeing 3,000 patients a month. So I was still enjoying that building mode, but the way BrightView came in and the way they did things and what their plans were, long-term plans for addiction, not short-term plans to just buy a practice and flip it. They're long-term plans for the stability of addiction treatment in Ohio was admirable, and I was glad to be part of it.